Great start for us. I know as these games go, we were trying to really just be very competitive, and I thought in the first half we were. Certainly fatigue was a huge factor. They have a tremendous size and athleticism, and certainly you saw an overmatched team in those two categories. Very proud of my guys and the way they came out at the beginning. I said they can be proud. Down 9 points at halftime to one of the 3 team in the country, obviously, is something that they can be proud of. Really appreciate once again Coach Cal and his staff not only allowing us to play this game, but also helping us raise the money that they did that we did last night at the dinner. It was great. Any questions?
Did they do anything differently in the second half, or was it just fatigue?
Well, when I heard the press conference and he said that they've been going 2.5 hours the last couple of days and they were working on toughness, I knew that we were in. I knew I had done the research last year about what they did to the second teams on their schedule in the exhibition. That's why last year I lobbied hard to play first. You know, if you remember last year's game, I think at the half the team they were playing was down 60 or more. So we were able to handle the pressure early. Defensively, they're just going to get better and better and better. You know, I saw a couple of the edits and a couple of things early from the blue-white or the first exhibition, and you could see just a different intensity level, and they'll just continue to get better and better as the season goes along.
Ryan, what are your impressions of this Kentucky team versus the team you played last year?
Last year, we got off over 35, 36 three-pointers. That was how we could stay in the game. This year, we couldn't get them off. I mean, we were trying to get threes off, and they held us to only 12 threes in the first half. They close so well. If one guy makes a mistake, the next guy is there, and you know I said it in the pregame, and it's true. I just wasn't blowing smoke. You know, there's some Division I teams out there that we could beat this year with this experienced team, and you saw it in the first half. Certainly, we're not going to beat that Division I team, but you know, a great experience for our guys. I saw them work out twice earlier in the year before they even started practicing, and you could just see that, you know, the potential is there, and as they, you know, I know Coach Cal is having to really get a lot of extra energy out of them, and the toughness and the tenacity, and that comes with youth. You know, that comes with youth, and there's no doubt. I was at those workouts, and I've seen them practice. If you think they just recruit the really good players, roll out the ball, you're crazy. I don't know. You know, and it's not the people in this room, but across the country. I mean, those guys coach, and Coach Cal is always instructing. There's nothing, you know. I was in as part of his coaches retreat, and he probably asked 150 questions of all the different coaches as we gave different things and did individual clinics. You know, the guy was trying to figure out. I'm calling Coach Cal the guy. He was trying to really figure out how to play with this team. We would beat one player. Last year we just had Anthony Davis that would block, you know, 35 shots. This time it was the next one, and you know, the next one. But I like you will be eager to see as the season progresses, because certainly, you know, we're down 9 at the half. Last year I think it was 12 or 14 if I remember right, and certainly the season turned out to where some of you got some pretty nice travel there at the end of the season.
Coach, your team may have had the highlight of like Brandon's dunk.
I didn't see that. No, that was something special. And the problem was, I think that from that point on we didn't score very many more times, but that will be something that he can remember. He's a special player, and you know, I have 8 seniors on this team, 16th ranked in our division, 440 schools in the division. Our guys have chosen Transy and chosen to pay a little more to go somewhere that has the facilities and the academic reputation and the location. They have turned, Brandon, they've turned down athletic scholarships to be able to come to Transy and play. We're winning games not with Division III players. We're guys that could go a bunch of different places. And certainly, as they get older, you see what they evolve into.
Can you talk to me about Ethan Starl and how he's developed over the years for you?
You know, Ethan is one of those guys, when I saw him work out for the first time down in Lincoln County, I think I drove down, ran a couple stoplights at about 5 o'clock in the morning trying to get down there for their early morning practice. And I saw him, and I knew that he could be somebody that would really be special. He's a third-team All-American. I'm glad he does not have to score, and we don't have to figure out ways to have him score over 6'14" guys every single game. But you know, within our division, he's certainly one of those. And then I had two of them. Ethan was the Player of the Year last year in our conference. Brandon was the runner-up. And so Ethan got all the All-American awards. Ethan came in, sat in my office, and said, "I don't want the Player of the Year award. I should be sharing it with Brandon." And that's the kind of kid he is.
Ryan, after the first exhibition game, Cal talked about how Northwood got off too many threes, and you're saying you were.
I think he got the message across to his guys. You know, right. and they knew we knew going in that was what we were going to have to do. And, you know, we were running flare screens and said, hey, we're going to set flare screens and get their big guys in situations that they don't have to play in practice, and they just recovered so well. And when they defend the three the way they did tonight, and then they make the threes the way they did tonight, you know, Coach Valentine leans over to me one time after Julius comes off of the handoff off of the break. He says, "We have nothing that can stop that." And I was like, that might be the most brilliant statement that I've heard all night.
Right. A couple of things. When you talk about what it was like when you look out there and you see Nerlens and Willie Cauley-Stein playing together, your thoughts on that as a coach? Number two, just the fact that your kids didn't play here last year, so maybe this, there wasn't the thought of being overwhelmed by being over.
Right. Last year as we came in, I felt like there was an edge to us of nervousness that wasn't there tonight. And I think I really felt like they were disappointed in the first half because we had an opportunity there when Kentucky they had 10 turnovers in the first half. And a lot of that is big guys having to go against smaller guys that they won't have to go against. You know, Nerlens puts the ball on the floor, Willie brings it down, and he's got a bunch of you know, mosquitoes at his knees trying to steal the basketball away. But what a threat that those two guys will be able to. But it's not just those two. You know, they are certainly athletic and can move around. We tried to move them around and put them in some different situations tonight. Their talking was better. They were in the stance better than the other night, and that's why historically they've really gotten a lot out of that first exhibition game to the second one. I told Cal after the game, I apologize. I'm sorry that we weren't able to score more points for you, but you had something to do with that. But those two guys together, and staying out of foul trouble and blocking out, and the couple things that they'll be improving on is certainly the passing and maybe not getting it down on the floor where some guys that are smaller can get it. But you know, that's just so much coming. You saw the other night there were some lob passes that didn't connect, and that's just playing, you know, learning to play more and more together, and you know, to think all these guys, most of these guys were playing in high school last year, and now they're on the big stage. I think everybody that wears blue can be excited about what's going to happen this year again.
Brian, what do you think of Willie Cauley-Stein in terms of a 7-footer kind of making plays out on the floor? He seemed to be not just making plays around the basket.
When we started recruiting Willie, we watched him playing on the football field, And I said, a guy that plays football that's that big probably can't play basketball, so we stopped recruiting him, actually. And you know, he's just going to get better and better. He's able to. I saw an energy from those guys tonight that maybe wasn't there the other night. A lot of that is not just, hey, it's the next game. A lot of that came from what? It came from the coaching this week, and they improved the last 3 or 4 days and made a significant jump just in preparation for our game. But shot blocking ability, you know, they were disciplined and stayed on the floor. They would close out on the perimeter, and you don't see those. You know, I like you and several in here. You know, I've seen a couple of the big guys in the Twin Towers here that wore blue, and no offense to those old guys now, but man, these two, they can go all over the place. And then certainly you got another tall guy out there with the range and passing ability that Kyle has, and they cover a lot of ground, and that they covered so much ground that's what made it so tough to get off the threes that we needed to. We needed 4-point baskets, not just threes tonight, and we couldn't even get the threes off. Thanks for laughing, Dick. Nobody else did.
Anyone else?
What's it like being that early litmus test for UK kind of last few years?
Last year was fun. This year, the first half was good, but you know we relished it. It was great for our fans. It's great for our. Last year, this game propelled us into the best start in school history, and we wanted to be competitive, and as competitive as we can be. The first half we did that. They're going to be able to go back and break down some tape and show their guys, hey, you can do this better, and I mean, we scored 10 points in the second half, so the halftime conversation certainly was something that worked as well. But we relish it, and hey, we'd love to do it every single year. They could beat the crap out of us every single year, and I'll walk down every year as long as it's not snowing or raining.
Anyone else? Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.